Welcome to Life Uncharted with Tiffany, the podcast where we navigate the messy, beautiful, and unpredictable parts of life together. I'm Tiffany, a future veteran, entrepreneur, coach, and mom, sharing real stories, lessons, and tools to help you take control of your time, your body, and your goals. When I first planned out the episodes for this podcast, I assumed the first episode would be about the way that I plan my time in this uncharted life. I assumed I'd give you a few episodes about keeping it together during the holidays and my current status towards retirement. And as I was editing and preparing to publish those, the bottom fell out and life got a whole lot more uncharted. So because I'm late dropping the first few episodes, I want to start with an explanation as to what's been going on for the last 30 days. I'm about to tell you a story that's as vivid in my life today as it was a little over 30 days ago when it happened. As a warning, this episode includes a personal story involving my child and a medical diagnosis. I wanted to share that with you up front so that you can take care of yourself as you listen. And if you'd rather skip to the wrap up, there's going to be a timestamp that you can skip to, and it'll take you straight to the end to where I share the reason why I'm sharing the story with you in the first place. But if you're like me and you want the gist of the story up front, it's real simple. His leg hurt. That's right. We went to the ER because his leg hurt. That's it. He was 7 years old, hadn't fallen or tripped or otherwise caused impact on his leg in a meaningful manner, and yet his leg hurt. I brushed it off at first. Growing pains, right? With no trace of swelling and no visible injury, I was skeptical. So when he came to me the next day to tell me that his leg was broken, of course, I opted straight into the "that's not how that works" speech. I told him that it couldn't be broken because he walked down the stairs to my room and across the floor to tell me it was broken. Yes, he limped, but clearly broken it was not. The next day, I dropped him off at school and now he's limping. What are we doing? I thought to myself. When I picked him up, the same limp. Okay, I've had enough. We went home, I changed clothes, and we started off on our journey to what should be a quick ER visit on a Wednesday evening. It wasn't a 4-day. It wasn't late to where people would be trying to get out of PT. It was a good time to go to the ER on post so that they can finally let my 7-year-old know his leg wasn't broken. When we arrived, the intake was simple. What brings you in today? His leg hurts. The nurse looked up at me. I know, that's what I said, but he insists it hurts, so we're here. She got us a wristband and we began the waiting game. No more than 30 minutes later, we're doing our vitals. The nurse is asking more probing questions. Any recent falls? Did you trip during PE? You know, the type of questions that allow you to figure out why a 7-year-old thinks his leg is broken and is walking around the room. Nothing significant in the vitals. We go back to the waiting room and get called back shortly after. The doc comes in to talk and figure out what's going on. Probably try to decipher what the nurse couldn't, and is clearly a little skeptical, just like you are. So they put in imaging and send you to do an x-ray to see what your boy is talking about. At the x-ray, you're in the room. A 7-year-old is asking questions about how x-rays work and is finally situated for the imaging. You step back and have line of sight with the technician who is actively scanning. One image, another. A slight head turn. You know, that 45-degree angle that either says, "Why in the world is this kid here?" or "Oh shit, that's not right." Well, we head back to our room and I'm patiently waiting for the "yeah, it's not broken, head on home and take this Motrin combo" that's destined to happen. Doc walks in, sits down, and looks me dead in the eyes. Well, his leg isn't broken. A sigh of release escaped, but it was one-sided. I focused on the doc some more, but it's not right, he said. Now I've got the 45-degree head turn and the people's eyebrow. I'm 2 seconds off of, "Oh, what does that mean?" when he says, There's something in the x-ray. We aren't going to be able to figure out what it is here, and we need you to go to the children's hospital. Yep, that's the point at which the bottom fell out. We were given a spectrum of things that it could be, but I felt the shift in the room. I could feel the foot stamp answer given that comes from years of Army test reviews. I see the answers that he can't say, and I'm broken. I pause. There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball. I tell myself, trying to focus on the fact that my 7-year-old is sitting in front of me, blissfully unaware of the potential severity that we're currently realizing. Would you like an ambulance there, or are you okay to drive? I'll drive. We'll stop and grab something to eat. Head nods. Agreements on the plan of action. And then a pause. I'm not sure if this is okay, but would you mind if I said a prayer for you? That's when it was official. I knew what he knew, and he couldn't tell me. So I did what any parent would do in that situation, and I said yes. And I prayed my little heart out. I wiped my face and put my mom armor back on because I had to be strong for the both of us. Time stood still on the ride to the children's hospital. Thoughts raced as I silently cried into the tune of the music on the radio. In the bottom of my heart, I knew it had to be true. It was scary. It was surreal. It was a moment that made me think, damn. I told everyone I was retiring to be able to be there for my son when he needed me. And here we are, about to be knee-deep in that need. With nothing yet confirmed and a printed x-ray, a disc, and a sheet in my hand, we pulled up into the parking lot for the emergency department at the children's hospital. My instructions were clear. Pull up to the emergency department, check in at the desk. We'll call ahead. They'll take you to the back, and they'll be able to figure out exactly what we're dealing with. So that's what we did. Ma'am, are you checking in? Yes, I'm sorry, I've never been here before. I was told to bring my son. I gave his name. Oh, has the ambulance arrived? I looked around. I guess I'm the ambulance. He's here with me. She looks down. Oh, I see. Let me get you checked in. A few strokes of her keyboard, and she's leaning back to print his armband. The door beside me opens. His name is called. Oh, hi, that's us. He's still getting a name band. She smiles small. Intake hands me the bracelet, and I hand it to the nurse. We follow her to the back. A quick stop for vitals. I hand her my folder as instructed. She puts on his wristband and leads us straight to the back. The very back. Not the section where you're going to be there for something quick. The very last room. Secluded. My son is ecstatic to see the TV. They get him laying down in the bed, hand him the remote, and ask me to recount what we've been up to tonight. They ask me what I already know. They're probing to see if they need to get someone to break the news. I hold my breath. They tell me that they're going to do their own x-rays and admit us so that we can do an MRI if necessary. I understand. My quick trip to the ER before dinner has turned into an admission because his leg hurt. No slips, no falls, nothing severe, just leg pain and a shady x-ray. So we wait. He watches TV and falls asleep. They offer us blankets and snacks. They bring in an x-ray cart, take the x-rays right there with him laying in the bed, 5 to 6 images, then she's off again. Some time passes, and then a team of people come in. They want to talk outside. She tells me what I already know. I'm holding my breath again. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Time is standing still. They name off specialists, let me know that they're waiting on a room upstairs in the hospital for us, that they're scheduling us for an MRI. They changed my name tag from a temporary emergency department 1 to an inpatient parent tag. The room is spinning. He falls asleep, still blissfully unaware, but knowing that we believe him that his leg hurts. The next morning, there are tests, IVs, imaging, CT scans, echocardiograms, MRIs. We finally arrive back to our room. He's exhausted, but entertained by the fact that his name is on the TV. He picks another movie. I sit with them all. Specialty doctors from fields I can't spell who are introducing themselves using names I won't remember. But I remember facts. I remember statistics. I remember the Google searches that play in my mind. Affects children, more males than females, taller versus shorter, African American more frequently. I think of my son. Of course, he meets all the marks. I try to focus again. Wednesday has now become Thursday, and they're talking about surgery. His leg hurt is all I can think of when they tell me of the procedures that they need to do, the reasons for them, and the time frame. Tomorrow? Surgery? But his leg hurt. They show me the images. They're upfront with the information. I think this helps. I can process better when I'm not forced to wonder. I'm still holding my breath. They give me options for second opinion, but they let me know that the surgery is very necessary. I believe them. I can see the urgency in the surgeon's face, the stoic mask of the specialist who's given this news more than once. And in the midst of the chaos, I decide right there that we will do this together. This team is my team, and we're going to get through this for my little boy. The next day comes fast. The drugs he gets before the anesthesia gives him the giggles. He understands concepts of what's going on, but not the scope. Because the scope is my problem, not his. At least not yet. It'll be years before he grasps what went on in this hospital on this trip. And I hope when he does, he knows that everything I did was to give him the greatest chance for the best quality of life. Mid-surgery, they come to consent me. I sign papers and allow the next steps to proceed. Text updates while I visit the social worker. The surgeon comes out. It's as we thought. The road ahead is long and winding. Follow-ups are made before he's even awake from the procedure. He opens his eyes and I see him. He asks me the time. He's been tracking what his friends in class are doing by the time of the day it is. He just wants to be in class with his friends. And instead, he's recovering from a procedure that no one expected days ago. We follow up in about a week. Those 9 days seem like they'll come faster than I think they will. And they do. What should have been a little over 9 days turned into 7. We're sitting in the clinic, enjoying the mural on the wall. Bluey's on the TV. He likes Bluey. But before the episode is over, his name is called. We head to the back. Vitals, a seat in the room, and in comes the team. The specialist, the surgeon, support staff, the works. They're all here for D-Day. The results from the surgery came back quick. It's been confirmed, and we have a diagnosis. It's as we thought. And the treatment plan? Well, it works like this. I'm looking at charts that feel like military operation orders. I find the key. I'm deciphering information faster than the specialist can brief it. She says it looks complicated, but to my chaotic mind, it seems pretty simple. Cycles, sequences, side effects, follow-up surgery, what the way ahead looks like. It's all discussed. I jot down notes as he plays Plants vs. Zombies on my phone. He knows it's about him, but the details don't matter. After it's all said and done, they ask, when do we start? It's crazy that it's left to me without a medical degree, the background, or an unnatural pull towards holiday celebrations. I pause and I brace for impact. We start immediately, I respond, while reminding myself of what I've been told over the past few weeks. It's not your fault. Nothing anyone did caused this. We likely wouldn't have found it unless he got hurt somehow. I breathe deep, knowing that action is a necessity, and moving now is my coping mechanism. We start Monday, I reiterate to the room. They nod in agreement and start to distribute work amongst themselves to prep. His leg hurt is all I can think about. It hurt, and it took me a few days before I took action, and look at where we are. What if I ignored it? The thought just kept playing in my head. I didn't, and I'm glad, but what if I did? The thought of all the times I could have brushed off his concerns sinks to the bottom of my stomach. I feel sick. I breathe deep, remembering I acted. Better late than never. On the way home, we celebrate being 7 and blissfully unaware. We buy a game, we eat pancakes, and he falls asleep. So why am I telling you this story? Not for sympathy, not for shock value, and not because I think my life is somehow harder or more important than anyone else's. I'm telling you because this moment forced me to live everything that I believe in. Not in theory, not in a planner, not in a perfect season, but in real time when nothing was controllable. This was the moment that I stopped managing my time and started managing myself. My calendar didn't save me. My routines didn't save me. My productivity systems didn't save me. Clarity did. Priorities did. Presence did. In a season where I couldn't control outcomes, I could still choose what mattered most. I could still act. I could still listen and show up. And I could still decide where my energy went. And that's what this podcast is really about. Life Uncharted isn't about having it all together. It's about navigating the seasons you didn't plan for with intention, honesty, and grace. Over the next episodes, we'll talk about time, goals, identity, transitions, rest, resilience, and self-management. Not from a place of perfection, but from a lived experience. Because the truth is, you don't need a perfect season to live on purpose. You need clarity on what matters right now. This story is part of my uncharted life. And if you're listening, I'm guessing you have one too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for walking this road with me, wherever it may lead. Thanks for listening to Life Uncharted with Tiffany. Don't forget to follow, leave a review, and share your favorite takeaway on socials. Whether you're facing a big transition or just trying to make it through the week, remember, you've got time for that, and we've got time for you.